I get to say good morning in the morning and mean it. Welcome to brunch with Linda today, although I don't even have a coffee with me. I hope you guys are settled in all nice and cozy with maybe breakfast and a coffee. And here comes Kate. We are so happy to be coming to you this week. Monday, I wasn't able to do it. I'm Linda Daniels. This is our Brunch with Linda, and you are now deep inside Northampton Wolves. So we did not go live on Monday because I was down in Connecticut at the Shop Hop Wrap-Up. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Hi, good morning, Kate.
Hi, I love your cowl.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this.
Nice.
Thank you. Although I'm starting to sweat.
Oh.
Be careful because this will fall over. All right, good. Okay, so the Shop Hop was a great success this year. We are all so very happy with the results of the Shop Hop. So many of you came out and participated. Some of the shops, it's kind of funny. We don't all get the same number because sometimes people will do north and not bother to go all the way south, or some people do south and not bother to go all the way north. But some of the shops had close to or slightly over 200 shop hoppers visit over the course of the 10 days this year. I know there was a little bit of confusion about the hours, but we're working on straightening that out. So it was a great success. In addition to all of those shop hoppers being out and about, we were incredibly busy, and I want to take a moment to give a great big thank you to all of you that watch Lunch with Linda, because I had so many people, it was over 10, come in, not because they were doing the Shop Up, but just because they were out for a ride and visiting, who bothered to tell me that they watch the lives and that they love it and we're here to pick up something that they saw. So I am very, very grateful. I cannot tell you how much it means to me for you guys to allow me to visit with you in your homes or at work or whenever you get a chance to watch this. It's great. So with that in mind, as I talk the rest of the time, you're going to want to have your notebook ready. Whether you've gotten one of our little Northampton Wolves notebook with the pens or have your own notebook, because it's really hard for me at my age now when somebody comes in and says, you know that thing that you talked about on your live, and I'm just left going, oh boy. Because practically by tomorrow, I really won't remember what I talked about today. We're trying, but it would be helpful if you made some notes of things that you liked. Kate does try to put the links, if there are particular patterns or the names of things, in the comments so that all of you have a place to go to look for things like that. So we have a lot of stuff to try and cover today, but I did want to say thank you to everybody who's been in the last couple of weeks, whether you were a shop hopper or not. It's funny how the universe seems to throw things at us and throws a lot all at once. We met at the Shop Hop kind of wrap up because we go over what worked, what didn't, what was good, what was bad, and every shop that collected finished passports, we put them together, we shuffle them all up, we really mix it and blend it, and I think for at least 25 minutes I'm going through just kind of blending them all together. And then we draw 2 names for the grand prizes. We got things from all of our yarn companies this year that chose to participate, and were able to put together 2 big trash bags full of yarn and patterns and kind of all fun things for the 2 grand prize winners. The first grand prize winner, Kathy Segal, was also from Hamden, Connecticut, was also a Daily Door Prize winner here. And it was just funny how out of 9 shops and over 200 entries, her name gets drawn in 2 different locations at 2 different days with 2 different slips. And then we had a mother and daughter who also won in 2 different places. And I don't know, but I bet it was Kim and her daughter but I have to check that just to make sure. Maybe not. Anyway, the universe seems to do that. If it's going to throw you stuff, it throws it all at once. So those are the lucky winners, and we're really, really happy for them. They will be thrilled with all of the stuff that they get this year. So that's what's been going on these last 2 weeks. Now that that shop hop is over, Kate and I are going to be spending a lot of time every day moving yarn. It's the great yarn moving week or weeks, because we start to get in big orders and big shipments, and everything needs to be rearranged. And as hard as we try to be organized, what happens throughout the year is we'll get an order in of something that we don't have, and it should be here on the fingering wall, but it ends up over there on the worsted weight wall. And at this time of year, it's a great big project to move everything around. Just imagine that if I said to you, I need all of this yarn taken out and moved over there, how much work that means, even if you just pull it all off and dump it in a box. It then needs to get dragged over to where I want it, and then rearranged in an orderly fashion and put away. So it all takes time. But last week, Kate and I worked through it all, and I think we have got the fingering weight wall in pretty good shape. And I wanted to show you that wall. Now I'm gonna move maybe not yet. So Eileen asked about this shawl. This is one of two that Bonnie made for the store, and we did have a third in because I did make it too. And a lot of you have made this. You are making it?
I'm at the
very end.
Yeah.
So this was last year's temperance shawl from Malbrico. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it uses 3 skeins of the Malbrico sock. So this is definitely Bonnie's color. Bonnie, who, by the way, will be here tomorrow.
Really?
She's coming for a little visit, so she's probably on a plane, if not now, very soon. So this took 3 skeins of the Malbrico sock. Again, it's the Temperance shawl. Kate will put that link in. And this is a second colorway that Bonnie did, and it is knit with the Malbrico sock. Now, this is the original Malbrico sock, and it is 100% wool, 440 yards in a fingering weight. Malbrico, everybody knows Malbrico. They're a really, really popular yarn, and it only takes 3 skeins. So you get one of each of 3 colors, and you put together your own color combination. We will be getting a restock in that. But what I wanted to show you, what's new on this wall that you could also use, let me move this way, is all of this. Welcome to Mad Tosh Light. I'm gonna put this down for a second. Okay, I got a phone call. So this is Mad Tosh Light. I've been talking about Madeline Tosh and how we are jumping in with both feet, and pretty soon we're gonna be up to our eyes in all kinds of different Madeline Tosh. We have the DK in, and now we have the Mad Tosh Light in. This is a fingering weight. It's 420 yards, and this is also 100% wool, superwash, and hand dyed by Madeline Tosh. The light really shines on that. But we have, look at this color. Is that gorgeous or what? It always flips out when it can't see my face. It's like, where's the face? So we have, and we really stuffed them in there, so when you grab them, the labels are going to pull off, but we know where to find them. 2, 4, 6 times 4 is 24. We have over 24 colors of the Mad Tosh Light in these 2 bins, just stuffed in there like mad.
Just made it live on the website.
It what?
I just made it live.
Oh, okay. So Kate just put it live on the, I got to take this off for a minute. Put it live on the website so you can really see the colors. You can find 1,000,001 patterns on Ravelry for it, but look for fingering weight patterns. I spent some time on Ravelry the other day looking specifically for patterns, and people did a lot of the gnomes out of the Mad Toshlight, which to me is kind of like, okay, but that's a lot of yarn to make a little gnome. But there's 1,000,001 fingering weight cowls. Like I said, you could do it, use it for the temperance shawl. There's tons of sweaters, things like that. But that's brand new on our wall. One of the oldies but goodies that we moved that you can now actually see is this yarn. This is the Serenity 20. It is an old favorite of ours, but moving it from being crammed into a few boxes on the far wall to being spread out already means that you can see the colors more. And this also is a superwash merino, but it's got 20% cashmere in it. And if you haven't made one of our Serenity cowls, you really have to. This cowl is probably has been the most popular cowl in the shop just because of how it all falls so nice and neat around your neck. One skein of the Serenity 20, and now you can see all of the colors that we have in that. Once we moved that around, we then had a great big space for smooshy cashmere. This is the Dream in Color smooshy cashmere, and last year we joined the Dream in Color Club, and so every month we got a new specially dyed color of the month. This is April's color that I just happened to grab, and we have a lot of colors left, but we have a big order. What was it? It was almost 30 skeins coming in that's on its way of brand new colors all at once. We didn't join the club this year. I just said, let's just take it all. So we've got some of that coming in, and now we have room for that as well. One of the other brand new yarns that we got in that I wanted to show you is a lightweight alpaca. Now, I had a couple of people in this week that talked about not being able to knit with or wear mohair. I get it. Mohair can be fluffy and sheddy, and it can feel like it's getting up your nose. You have that sensitivity. Most of the lace weight mohairs now are combined with silk, so they're really very soft. It's not that they're itchy, it's that they're floaty. So it's hard to really wear. Well, Plymouth Yarn decided to help solve that problem by spinning a lightweight alpaca, and that looks like this. It's called the Surrey Stratus. Now, Surrey is the baby alpaca. It's like their first combing, and it is fuzzy and thin. So if you wanted to do one of those sweaters that has a strand of mohair along with a strand of fingering weight yarn, you'll be able to get the fuzz and the lightness without the itch and fluff of mohair. So this is, I'm going to take this over so you can see all of the colors. So it's right here, and we got 9 different colors, lots of naturals, but then we got the denim blue, the orange, the green, and the red. So that's one yarn that you might think about trying. It would also work up really nicely by itself into a very soft, maybe scarf or cowl. That would be wonderful, or even a hat. It would make a great hat. And while I'm down there, I'm just going to tip this so that you can see right there is the cashmere. I talked about that cashmere last week, and I was able to, let's see, don't anybody move. I was able to finish the Fingerless Mitts that I said I was going to. I'll tell you, I worked 13 days straight during the shop hop, and on Saturday night when I went home, I was just like, holy cow. It felt like I was home forever. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, even though I was gone most of the day, Monday running errands and at that meeting, it still felt like I had a wonderful reprieve and lots of time, mainly because I told the big D to leave me alone and not bother me. So I was all by myself. So these are the Fingerless Mitts done out of that one skein of cashmere, and
they look so good.
They are
smooth.
They're very, very smooth. I did it on a size 3 needle. This is the pattern. You can get this pattern free. You can get it here free when you buy the yarn. I think you, as customers, you can probably download it right from the Universal site as well. And they have 3 different sizes. The size that I made is the medium, and I would strongly recommend that most of you make the small. I have a relatively larger rather than smaller hand, not really big, but I made the medium thinking that would fit. They're a tiny bit loose, so I think that the small on the pattern would probably be the best for almost everybody. And this is how much yarn I still have left. There's probably enough left to make a shorter pair. Those are relatively long. They go from above the knuckle all the way down over the cuff. So you probably have enough to make a short pair in 1 skein of that cashmere. That is one of the things that I did manage to get done, along with this cowl. I'm going to mention this cowl briefly. Because I'm working on a second cowl. We're going to have 2 designs in this. This is 1 skein of the bamboo bloom. This, can you grab some of the colors of this? This comes in a bunch of different colors. We've had this yarn in before, but we got a refresh in the colors. And I did what is now becoming known as purposeful pooling or something like that. But some of you remember, we had a yarn from Plymouth called Oscar that was the same kind of thing. It was a smooth and then thick, and then smooth and then thick. And what I did then was make a kind of like poncho cowl and knit all of the smooth, and whenever I came to the thick part, I purled. And that's what I've done in this cowl. I did this in the round on a size 10 needle, and whenever I was in the smooth part, I just knit. But whenever I got to the thick part, I purled. And so it makes this wonderfully fun texture that kind of moves all around the cowl. So I'm going to be writing this pattern. I knit this yesterday. So I will be writing the pattern up, and we'll have the pattern here free when you buy one of the yarns. So this is the color that I used. I know, I'm sorry, the light is kind of bright, shining right on us, so it's kind of shining on the yarn. But here's another. This one is kind of lilac-y, muted purples. This was a really popular color, these pinks and turquoises and a little bit brown. Yeah, that does show up well. Oh, and this is everybody's favorite color, this charcoaly with the bright spots of pink.
That's an easy way to knit black.
The mailman is here. Yeah, this is a great fun way to get some black into your wardrobe. And here are some of the other, oops, if I stand back it might show some of the other colors. So I'll have that pattern ready for you guys by tomorrow. Okay, one of the tips that I wanted to give you for today, the knitting barber cords, of course, are still really, really popular and a really great tool. But I was talking to Barb. Hi, Barb, if you're there. And she was telling me that the same thing happened to her that's happened to me. You use the barber cords, maybe you put the sleeves that you're holding, or you put the body on one of the cords, and then you tie it together. And most people tie it in a square knot. You tie it across the 2 ends, tie, across the 2 ends, and tie. And what I have found in experimenting with that is that instead of doing that, I make this kind of a knot. So let me show you what I mean. So when you put the stitches on the cord, your first inclination is to just do this, because this is how we tie knots. We make a square and make a square. And you can see already how much that's loosened up, and it's gonna come undone. I've had it happen. And so now what I do, instead of tying them together like that, you take the 2 ends, a circle, and put them through. That does not come undone. It's even hard to undo when you want it to come undone. So use the barber cords. I'll give you a quick flash. This is, this year I decided to knit for myself. I think I'm gonna have 4 new sweaters. all of which are hard. Harder rather than easier. So this is one of them. Isn't that nice? So when it's blocked, it's going to look like that. Can you see that? And this is actually 4 skeins. I'm going to be able to do it actually in 5 skeins. 5 skeins of the Madeline Tosh DK. But that's as far as I got with 3. I have 1 left for the sleeves, but I think I'm going to put the bottom, make the bottom in that goldish kind of color to kind of jazz the whole thing up. Okay. And I'm just making sure, oh yeah, so the other new yarns that we got in that I'll be talking about later on from Cascade are the Lana Grande. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It is not a superwash. This is a bulky weight, and the 220 superwash Grande. So this is the superwash. So both of these are going to be new yarns. We're working on models right now to get that stuff done, and hopefully have new models all over the place. Let me check and make sure. Oh, we had such an amazing woman in the store. Remember Sophie?
Yes.
So in walks this absolutely beautiful, tall woman with curly black hair and tall, and a die for British accent. I mean, as soon as somebody with a British accent opens their mouth, you're just like, oh, you must be so smart, so fashionable, so wonderful. Well, we started talking with her, and she had been in the store before and bought one of the sweaters that I had on sale and loved it. And she was back looking at all of the shawls and things that we had on sale. And she bought, how many did she end up buying? 3 or 4 of them?
Yeah,
she bought a lot. And she tried them on, and of course she looked beautiful in every single one. Come to find out, she actually lives in London, and she was here for the last month filming or being an actress in a movie that they have been filming around here. Maybe you have run into it because they've bumped all around. It's called Janet's Planet, and I knew it because our favorite ice cream place had been closed for a day, and when I went by it on my way to work, there were all kinds of people there, and fire trucks, and what looked like people dressed up as firemen. And I learned later that they had closed that day because they were filming Janet's Planets there. Come to find out, Sophie was playing the person who is pulling all of the ice cream in that ice cream place for that day. So it was...
She tried to wear a vernacular.
Exactly. She had the sweater that she had bought, she tried to wear during the filming, but they told her that she couldn't because it looked too nice. So I was like, darn it, but thank you, because that would have been my 3rd movie. Not that I would have gotten any credit or anything, but that would have been so fun. But she was buying all of those shawls and scarves in order to give them as gifts to the people that she was working with, although she was very beautiful in them, and she was very tempted to keep a couple. So who knows what she'll end up keeping and what she'll end up giving away. But that was so exciting. I just love these little brushes with Hollywood. Yeah. It's so fun. All right, you guys, well, we have a ton of work to do. It's almost 10 o'clock and we need to open the store. I hope we see you this week. We still have a few sale things that we're going to be moving around. They'll end up downstairs, but a lot of stuff is already gone. We have orders coming in. I know there's a big one that's supposed to come today. So we'll be working hard to get all of that new stuff out and ready for you when you come. And in the meantime, I'm sure you've got something on the needles, so go knit something. Bye.